I'm gonna go over today the pros and the cons of Fort Pierce. It's in Florida, it's on the Treasure Coast, and it has a reputation. People either love it or people don't. So let's go over the whys right now. Hi everyone, my name is Natalia Reinhardt, realtor with Home Sweet Home Realty right here on the Treasure Coast in Florida, and I talk about where to live, where to eat, and where to play. So if you want to stay in tune with the area, subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week. So now let's talk about the Sunrise City. Yes, it is Fort Pierce, and Fort Pierce is located in St. Lucie County. So don't get it mixed up with Port St. Lucie. That is a city within the county. Fort Pierce is another city within the county, St. Lucie County. So let's go over the pros and the cons. Pro number one, Amazon. Okay, how does this really matter? Well, let me tell you, Amazon doesn't have a distribution center in Fort Pierce. No, it doesn't have a fulfillment center. It has a shipping center. You know what the difference is? I have no idea. So if you do know, if you happen to know what it is, tell me in the comments below because I have no clue. However, what I do know and what makes it a phenomenal pro is that when you order something on Amazon, more than likely you'll get it the very next day. That's how awesome that shipping center is. And I'm all about it. It's one of those pleasant surprise. You're like, it says 2 to 3 days online and then you still get it the next day. You're like, yes, I accept. Yes, please. The other positive that goes along with Amazon, so it's kind of two pros in one. We are talking about jobs. Yes, there are plenty of jobs available. From what I've noticed, and so me with my HR background, what I figure is just contractors. So you can't find jobs on Amazon website in Fort Pierce. You can't find it in Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter's about 45 minutes away, 45 minutes south from Fort Pierce. But you can't find Amazon jobs with these contractors if you just Google it. Just Google it and Amazon jobs, and then a whole bunch of jobs pop up, a lot. Let's talk about the first con when it comes to Fort Pierce. And I mentioned this in the 5 worst things of Port St. Lucie right up here in this video because it's noteworthy. It makes a difference when you're trying to buy a house. You need to take into consideration that St. Lucie County, where Fort Pierce is in, has a high tax rate. It surpassed Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach counties when it comes to the tax mill rate. You're like, what? How is that possible? Now, if you go by that black and white number, on data, it looks awful. However, you still need to take into consideration that based on each municipality, so Fort Pierce is its own entity, Port St. Lucie, they have all their other things. It can still be cheaper at the end living in Fort Pierce. Número dos, let's talk about another pro. When it comes to Fort Pierce, it's more affordable than I dare say most of the Treasure Coast. And that's really awesome. You can find single family homes on the east side of US 1 that can be a 3-2 for around $300,000. That's a big deal. It's near the water, it's in a good neighborhood, it's kind of maybe off the beaten path or whatnot, but there are those choices. There's tons of retirement communities also all around Fort Pierce, closer to US 1, but you have many choices, and some of them are gated, so some of them are not. So it's a big hub for that. Then you go all the way west, closer to I-95 and the Turnpike, and then there's now new construction. So now you can have a 3-2 brand new home in a new community, some gated, some not, with low HOA fees if they are gated. What? Maybe $300,000 again, but for new construction. So it's kind of crazy. It really is crazy. Your options are just more attainable, I would say, when it comes to a home purchase. So if you're a first-time homeowner, you're looking, you might want to take a look at Fort Pierce. The next con for Fort Pierce, it's crime rate. Yes, that's probably why it's more affordable. No, but the reality is what I spoke about earlier in the pro. I'm looking at the outskirts, or we are looking at the outskirts when it comes to housing, affordable housing that is in safe or safer places, okay? When it comes to the center of Fort Pierce, that's where the crime rates go, boop, like completely high. And when you compare the crime rate to Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, like straight up, just looks horrendous. Fort Pierce is triple the crime rate in comparison to Port St. Lucie. I say it because it's a fact. However, I also want to mention, disclaimer, Port St. Lucie is weird, okay? It's not an average city, and that's why it's very attractive. But to have very low to little crime rate in such a big city in comparison to Fort Pierce, like Port St. Lucie is much, much bigger. Like, it's weird that there's not more crime, okay? That's why I love it. That's why people move there, right? That's like the gem, the diamond in the, like, it's awesome. Port St. Lucie. Fort Pierce, how I explain it to clients, it's more average. It's an average city. It is a older city. The middle of the city hasn't been updated. It's just low income, etc., etc. So most of the crime is larceny or personal property theft. And yes, and I'm going to say this too because I'm all about stats, so here I am posting it. It's actually even higher. Fort Pierce the crime rate raised in the last few years, and it's now higher than the average in Florida. So that doesn't look good for Fort Pierce. Like, let's just be real. But I could say, come the outskirts, it's safer. You have gated communities. You have more options for affordability. And so there's pros and the cons, right? So I'm just giving them to you. Número tres, another pro here, the downtown area. They did an awesome job the last few years in revitalizing it, updating it, just making it a happening place. It has one of the best farmers markets ever, and it's on the water. Like, you can't beat that. So it's, even on hot summer days, it's cool because of the breeze. Like, it's just great. Go for it. Farmers market. They have lots of dining in the downtown area. There's the Sunrise Theater, and with its history, like, definitely awesome to do. So lots of things, even seasonal things, right? So they have the Christmas parade, they have all the lights, come December. They just have a lot going on. So they did really well in making it happen, the downtown, and having that stamp to represent Fort Pierce. The con, funny enough, is still the downtown area. Because that's how I work. It's almost like an oxymoron. No, but the reality is that it's kind of vacant in some places. So there's little corners and spots that you're like, oh, let's go here, let's eat there, let's walk, and you can enjoy the downtown area. But then you turn and you're like, no business, it's vacant. And you're like, what's going on? So it's not still as vibrant and busy as it could be. So it still has potential. There's a lot more room to grow. The next pro, let's talk about the water access. It's a real thing that not many other places have. Fort Pierce is loaded with different parks and beaches that are absolutely gorgeous and comfortable and accessible. So whether it's the Fort Pierce Inlet State Park, which is amazing. Like, it's amazing. I'm not gonna kid you. You can just sit and watch, a bunch of boats pass by, which is fun in itself. Fishing galore. You can go on the other side, and there's really good waves for you to go surfing, and you see all the kids going bananas there. Like, that's just the state park. Then you have your other options, whether it's the jetties, whether it's the North Causeway Island Park, I'm all about that area because it has a playground, so the kid can do beach and playground. I'm all about that options. Then, so even Pepper Park, there's just so many options for water access. Let's talk about the con, the hospital. I'm not a huge fan of the hospital, and it kind of like is a shame that I'm putting them on the negative list. They're fair. Okay, they have an average rating. They're actually 3.5 out of 5 stars in almost every other like website I can find, whether it's Google, whether it's vitals.com, even US News, when they rank them, they're fair. So they're not a true con. It's not it's not completely horrible. I don't want to diss them because they do a lot. They're quite busy in that area. I wanted to mention that it is a teaching a hospital also. And from my experience teaching hospitals down in Miami, whether it's UM or Jackson Hospital, I just noticed there is a lower quality of service. There's more of a learning curve for the medical residents. Pro, they have museums. Yes, they have at least 3 museums that I can name that are noteworthy. They have the aquarium, the St. Lucie County Aquarium. They have the St. Lucie County Historic Site or Center, which are super nice, minimal AC. So on hot summer days, you can do it. Entertaining for the kids. It doesn't take too long. And again, it's a minimal fee. Like, it's absolutely affordable. So I like it, and it's very convenient. It's on the beach. Then you have the Navy SEAL Museum, which is really fun, believe it or not, for the entire family. I was kind of surprised that I liked it. And we weren't even residents back then. We were living in Miami, constantly traveling to Orlando for one reason or the other, and we constantly saw the sign, Fort Pierce, Navy SEAL Museum, it's right there. It is something that the family can do, very interactive, things to climb, they can run. There's an outdoors section, so they can run and climb. So it's just fun and interesting, very interesting to learn. So lots of options when it comes to indoor museum activities. One of the best things about Fort Pierce is how centralized it is. It's the most centralized location on the Treasure Coast. And what do I mean? I mean, there's like a legitimate pit stop or a truck stop that exists. So whether you're taking I-95 or the Turnpike to Orlando or coming from Orlando, whatever it is, like Miami, the Keys, this truck stop has tons of restaurants. It has hotels, and obviously gas stations galore where people do their changes, like whether they want to continue on the Turnpike or maybe take the I-95, whatever it may be. So it's a hub, big hub, smack in the middle, convenient for everyone. So you might know Fort Pierce because of that. And if you really want to explore Fort Pierce, it doesn't take much to just head east, go to museums, or enjoy the beach, because let me tell you, it is gorgeous. Again, okay, gorgeous when it comes to Fort Pierce beaches. If this video helped you in any way, give it a thumbs up, please. And if you want more information about the Treasure Coast, feel free to look at my relocation guide in the description below. My name is Natalia Reinhardt. I am your host of the Treasure Coast, and I will see you around town.